say live. It says live. If I share my screen, then this should work. Say share. I should be able to close this, and then I should go into this Word document. And so, like, it's a live stream, um, just because I don't like editing after the fact, nor do I want to learn how to. And this is really different. It's a video that's really a first, in which it's a video that documents my experience ingesting shrooms. All right. I know it's very taboo, but there's some things that I think just just motivated me to want to try it, right? I've jumped out of airplanes, right? I've done things before to try to like just challenge myself and to try to stretch myself as a human being. And there's certain constraints that I have that like I'm just terrified of. And I'm a slave of status quo. I am. Sometimes I wear it as a badge of honor. It's part of my identity. But there's some things that motivated me to want to experience psychedelics. And just here's my profile, right? Because obviously the majority of people, they don't know who I am. Um, this is who I am, right? I am a extremely analytical creature, right? I analyze the hell out of arbitrary events. I can't turn it off. Okay. So anything that is arbitrary, like any event that's arbitrary, I'm figuring out how I could benefit from it. That's just the way that I am trained. That's the way that I am built. I can't turn it off. Okay. Uh, Something else that I can't really relate to is like spirituality or meditation. I can't do it. I'm like severely logical. It's actually a curse. I can't really meditate unless post an extreme workout, right? Whether that workout is weight resistance, or that workout is cardio, or that workout is the bedroom. Like after that, whichever one of those activities, like I don't know if you call it endorphins or whatever, but that's the only time where I can like just relax, chill, right? If I don't do that, I I stay wired. I don't even drink coffee, but I stay caffeinated. You know, it's impossible for me to be the only person like this, and that's one of my motivations for documenting this on the internet with people knowing my name. All right, regardless of the professional consequences, I think that it's important for people to not feel as if they're alone. Right. So to summarize, I want to be more spiritual, or at least want to have a spiritual experience in my life before I die, right? Before I get gunned down or get stabbed, right? I want to have a spiritual encounter. That's it. I want it to be clean. I want it to be natural. And I'll be the first one to raise my hand and say, I don't have the ability to do it without a crutch. I'm just being just flat out honest. Like, I can't do it. I've tried. I've subscribed to YouTube videos that try to teach you how to manifest things by visualizing, and I've had girlfriends in foreign countries that would bring me to some social event in which they would do weird things. I can't connect. I can't do it. I can't. I want to. I can't. I'm a software developer. I would say I'm highly skilled based on my experience working with other people that claim to be, and I'm just severely logical, right? So anyway, let's start going into the basics. I kind of like touched on the motivation of me wanting to experience a psychedelic was I want to experience true meditation. I want to experience what it means to either be one with the universe or one with nature. Okay. I then attempted to articulate my issue, right? Who I am is I'm extremely calculated. Everything is an event. And I try to figure out how I could benefit from it ethically. Okay. I'm not a scam artist. I'm not. But I am wired as a somewhat entrepreneur to figure out how to take events and convert it into my own personal opportunity, right? And as I said earlier, like, it's almost impossible for me to meditate unless it's an extreme workout, whether it's cardio, weightlifting, or bedroom. So that was the motivation, right? I want to be spiritual, right? So the other part is, and you have to forgive my spelling. I realized, I mean, like, this was like maybe 3 hours ago, and I realized that I can't spell. Like, whatever, like, chemicals are inside of me, or whatever consequences of this catalyst that got started, like, I find it really hard to spell. So, like, this document that I created to document this experience, I know it has hella typos in it. And normally, like, yeah, I'm very detailed oriented, like, extremely, even when I'm not a good speller, but I catch common mistakes. But I really struggle to put together this document just based on spelling. That's one of the side effects I realized very quickly is, like, damn, I'm trying to, like, document this, you know, in English, in a written document, and, like, I'm struggling to spell out normal words. So, I mean, that's my apologies for that. I explained my motivation, and then I want to talk about the precautions that I took. I purposely didn't research shrooms. And because I didn't want my mind to automatically, to automatically exercise the placebo effect, if that makes any sense. All right. I really wanted to come into this as a virgin, without any external influences that would direct whatever experience I was to go into. I wish I could say that differently, right? So I didn't know if they say a drunk mind. See, I'm still trying to put things together. They say a drunk mind speaks sober thoughts, right? And I believe that. And so there's some precautions that I wanted to put in place. One is, like, I wanted to make sure that if and under the influence of this psychedelic, that I would mitigate the risk or limit the risk of bodily harm. No firearms, no access to knives or swords, right? Which means that, yeah, I don't want to experience any type of suicidal thoughts. I don't want to start hallucinating and start doing things to myself. So, like, I'm pretty methodical in documenting and having a certain protocol, right, about things that are not in my interest long term. So one was bodily harm. The other one was Rampage, right? That's another precaution. I It's not in my interest to be in the streets of Miami and be under the influence and start hallucinating and just start attacking people. That's not who I am. It's not. Um, is it something that may be suppressed? Possibly, but that's not who I am. That's not what I want to be. And so it was very important for me, again, not really researching experiences of shrooms, but it was very important for me to make sure that I don't harm myself and that I don't harm others. Okay. I think a lot of us are effed up in the head. And so this is something that I had to make sure that I reduce the risk and I try to create a controlled environment, even though I didn't have a chaperone. So I didn't want to go on a rampage, right? Meaning that I didn't want to have a 2020 Grand Theft Auto Vice City and I rack up 5 stars and I got SWAT and I got ghetto birds over me. Like, that's not in my interest right now. So, and the other part was, in addition to this rampage, regardless of any mental issues or stereotypes that I may have, I can't catch any cases, period, especially if they're hate crimes, right? So, like, that's something that is very important to me, is like, it's not in my interest to be indicted on a hate crime. It's not my interest to have the police or SWAT, you know, come get me. So that was very important to me, and I took that into consideration without really researching uh, something that is natural in the earth, right? That I decided to ingest or consume. So, with these two concerns in mind, that led me to identify an ideal setting. Ultimately, it's a beach or a park, preferably a beach, and there can't be any people. There can't be any people, right? Just in case I start like blacking out and start acting out. Blacking out and acting out are bad things. So that's something that I didn't want to do. Can't have people around me. Uh, in addition to that, can't have a phone. All right. I can't have any type of electronics that could be used to inform SWAT or help prosecution if I catch a case. Again, didn't research shrooms. I know sick thoughts that I have in my head. I'm a human being, and there's an ideal setting that I'm conscious of to mitigate those risks. Okay, so discuss that, and this whole thing is just me trying to be real. It's like a coming to Jesus talk. It's really just trying to be sincere. So All right. So I talked about the motivation. I talked about the precautions that I needed to take, both for bodily harm and for in case I go into a rampage on these streets of Miami, and also to not help SWAT or prosecutors pretty much kidnap me and destroy the rest of my life. So it can't make it easy for them. Okay. So next is I have a series of different stages that I kind of documented, and I'm coming from this from an engineering perspective, right? And so there's several stages. I think I have I've documented 6 stages of what I experienced. Okay. And so before I go into the stages, I'll just first explain. I already explained what my motivation was, but then to explain like what I did to act on that motivation. So I was like, I just had a birthday several days ago, and I'm approaching middle age, right? I'm not there yet, but I'm approaching it. I feel it. I feel as if I'm accelerating towards middle age, and the things that I used to care about, uh, I still do, but they're not as much of a priority based on where I'm at in life. And like I already said, that there's some things that I just want to experience while I'm not in the process of dying. And that's important. And that's something that I shouldn't be guilty of. Okay. So I went ahead and I let a couple people know that, like, yo, I don't want to do, I'm not going to do crack. I'm not going to do heroin. I'm not going to do any of that stuff that destroys lives, right? I don't want to do that. I can't even afford to have that on my record, right? I just want to, I just want to experience what it means to truly meditate. That's all I want to do. And I'm not going to be guilty about wanting to know how to meditate, right? Indians did it before genocide. They were genocided. I wish I could make that a verb, but like it's something that's common. I should say Native Americans. So anyway, I went ahead and let someone know that, hey, you know, I just had my birthday. There's some things that I've been reflecting on in life because birthdays and New Year's, like those are always very rough for me. Like depression wise, like I always dwell on what I don't have, and I because I'm very competitive, I always compare myself to. I'm just being real, affluent white people that are my age. I'm competitive, and I look at what they have, and I focus on what I don't have. I'm American. This was programming in me for decades, and I can't turn that off. This is who I am. This is the environment that has built me. All right, I'm very competitive. All right. So anyway, I'm not sure why I mentioned that, but I lost my train of thought there. I went ahead. Oh yeah, because I was talking about I'm at a stage in my life where like there's certain things that I just want to experience while I'm not in the process of dying. So I went ahead and told that person. And he's probably 10 years older than me, maybe 15. I'm not sure. And he said that he knew someone, and that you know me and this person, we talk a lot. Like we talk multiple times a week. And he told me that he'll look into it because he doesn't really mess around with that stuff either. We both work in tech. We're both laser focused on our professions. We both don't mess around and we don't compromise, right? So he had got back to me and he said that he had called me yesterday and he said, "Hey, uh, I got some." I'm like, "Okay, well, maybe you should do it first so that if you die, I won't take it, all right? Because I'm going to sacrifice him just in case it's laced with something or it's just grinded up rat poison. I don't know. I don't do drugs. I don't." And so he was like, "Oh, Ari, I took a sample of it. I took a very small sample, and it gave me the giggles. Like, gave you the giggles." He's like, "Yeah." Like, I just started giggling. I'm like, "Oh, well, I need you to take all of it. I want to see the consequences, right? Before I do it. I need you to be the guinea pig, because I'll sacrifice you before I experience it myself, right? Because I'm the better good." And he was like, "No, no, I sampled it. I didn't get sick or anything. I just started laughing at things that weren't funny." And I was like, "All right." So he gave me like a sandwich bag that's maybe like this, maybe this big. Hold up, I'm an engineer, so I have to like kind of be perfect about it. Maybe about this big, and it was filled to like a quarter, and it was like grinded up shrooms. Like you could tell it was organic. It wasn't like a powder. And he told me it was like, "Yo, the stuff is like 9 months old." I'm like, "So what does that mean?" He was like, "It probably won't be as potent, but I don't know. I'm just like you." I'm like, "Oh, okay." So I was chopping up with him like last night. We were out, and he wanted me to take a sample. I'm like, "Nah, like I drove here on my motorcycle. I can't afford to have any hallucinations while I'm on the road. I might hurt other people, let alone hurt myself. I can't catch a case. Like, nah, I'm not gonna do that." He's like, "Yeah, that makes sense." But I had already decided that in the morning during during sunrise I was going to do it. And so the next morning I went ahead and uh, found the bag, and then I kind of went through like this methodical protocol where I needed to make sure that I had my key to to my home, and I needed to not have any tracking device, cell phone on me, just in case things got weird, and just in case I might be suspected and catch a case, right? Because again, I didn't do any research purposely, right? Purposely, I didn't want to do any of that stuff with something that was natural. As long as it was natural, I didn't want to automatically train my mind to expect subconsciously a certain type of behavior, right? It's kind of like no matter what you do, don't ever, ever think about a lime green gorilla. And the first thing you do is you have like some type of blurry lime green image of a gorilla. Like, so I didn't want my mind to be trained on anything like that, right? And so, as I said earlier, the precaution was like reduce the risk of bodily harm, reduce the risk of a rampage, right? And ideally, be at a beach, no people, and don't supply city, state, or Fed with any type of evidence to track or to throw you in prison for a long time. So where am I at? So this is where things get interesting. I went to the beach and I had like the little baggie in my hand, and there were no people, right? Because it's early morning and it's on the beach. And I went ahead and he said, Scott, the dude was like, Scott, just take just a sample of it and see how it goes. And then, you can gradually take more. Like just don't gobble the whole thing at once, okay? This is your first time, right? So just be responsible. And I'm like, yeah, yeah, yeah. And so, like, he told me that the night before or last night, and like what he said it made sense. But I'm also reminding myself, like, I'm 6'7", I'm 250 pounds. I got large organs, right? And so when I was at the beach, I'm like, man, F that. Like, I'm a G. So I just, I ate the bag. I'm like, yo, I always like mushrooms. Like, when I order Papa John's, like, I always get, like, mushrooms on my pizza. Like, I love mushrooms. And, like, when I ate it, I'm like, damn, it tastes like mushrooms. Okay. This is good. Like, I wish I had some more, right? And so then, like, someone that's a complete virgin to a lot of things in life, and I'm kind of proud of that. I just waited, and I just chilled on the beach because I'm like, yo, I'm about to meditate. I'm about to figure out what it means to, like, be one with nature or be one with the universe. Like, I want to be like Native Americans before they got destroyed. I want to be like a Shaolin monk. Like, I want to be like women that I see on the beach that sit Indian style, and they they cross their legs and they're like just they're meditating. I don't know how to do that. When I'm on the beach by myself, I just get bored. I can't chill at the beach because the sun's beating on me. I can't be I just can't sit in one place for more than, I would say, 20 minutes. There's people around me. Again, I'm just wired differently. So anyway, I'll wait, and nothing happens. And I mean, I waited for like 20 minutes. Nothing happens, right? Or should I say, nothing happened, past tense. And so I'm like, all right, well, I mean, I'm not a doctor and I'm not a drug addict, so I don't understand how the organs process chemicals or food, right? I don't understand the digestive system. And so I'm like, I should feel something like soon though, right? It's been like 20 minutes. I know when I eat something bad, I know I'll run to the toilet like within like half an hour. Yeah, I should feel something. And all I felt was like just congestion, like up here. It wasn't like a headache. I just felt like some congestion in between. I don't know if you want to say frontal cortex, whatever that crap is. I just felt congested up here. But that was it. I didn't feel anything. And so, like, after half an hour of being at the beach, I decided to go home. And I was kind of disappointed. But I mean, I didn't pay for it, so like, it's not like I lost money. And I ended up seeing a couple of my neighbors on the beach because, like, where I live at, it's kind of, even though there's a whole bunch of like condominiums, like it's kind of like a village. You know people, you see people, and chopped it up with them, and that was it. And I came home, and I was doing some administrative tasks on my computer, like clearing out all the spam in my email that I've been getting a lot lately. And I was like, oh, I need to book a flight. I need to book a flight. I need to go I need to go to Cleveland. All right, my hometown is in Cleveland. Yeah. So I looked at like American Airlines, and they were leaving out at like the ideal flight was like 7, and I'm like, oh no, 7's kind of late because I'm not going to get there until like 10:30. Yeah, I don't want to do. I don't want to do that. Let me check out Delta Airlines. All this is leading up to something, right? I was like, let me do Delta Airlines. So I went on Delta Airlines site, and I'm not familiar with Delta Airlines website, like because I usually fly with American Airlines, even though I don't take advantage of their frequent flyer miles, and I fly like often. I'm just an idiot because I don't use frequent flyer miles. So I'm on their website, and I'm like booking their uh, I'm searching for flights. Let me say that. And when I put in like MIA to CLE, like I started getting these errors, and I didn't really understand the errors because I'm like, yo, I filled out all the fields. Like, what are you talking about? I'm getting an error. And so I just started noticing like I was having trouble understanding the error messages on their website. And I was like, why am I getting an error? Like I provided information like CLE to or MIA to CLE. What? And then it took me like, I swear to God, it took me like 3 minutes to realize that they wanted to know what date I planned on leaving. Like it took that long. And I'm like, oh, damn. Okay. I want to leave today. So I put that in there, and so then it processed, and it showed some flights, and it showed the cost. And then I struggled because I'm like, well, I want a one-way flight, and I want it to be direct. And I couldn't figure out how to filter to direct flights. I don't want to fly to Atlanta. I don't want to fly to Charlotte. I want a direct flight from Miami to Cleveland. And like I was struggling to find it, and that might be maybe Delta just doesn't have direct flights from Miami to Cleveland because Cleveland is not a major city. I mean, it's a major city because it has like major sports, but like people don't be like, "Yo, I'm going to Cleveland." Like people don't do that, and most people that live in Cleveland, their ancestors are from Cleveland. So Cleveland's not a popular destination. That's what I'm trying to say. So that's the first thing I realized is like, yo, I'm having issues trying to decipher this error message. I don't know what this error message is talking about, right? And I couldn't like, it would take me a while to like understand the error message on this website. And then what happened after that was I started gazing off, and I saw like this reflection on my window, but it was really detailed. And I didn't know what the reflection. I knew it was a reflection, but I didn't know what the reflection was. Right? And I'm looking at this reflection, and I'm like, where's the reflection coming from? Like, the sun is behind me, but it's not even overhead. Like, I can't understand why I'm seeing this reflection. Why am I seeing a reflection? And I started like analyzing the hell out of why am I seeing a reflection on my window. And the reflection was like, it was just very detailed. And I'm like, nah, man, this defies laws of physics. I shouldn't be seeing a reflection like this. Why am I seeing a reflection? And I just kept on harping on it. And then I was like, hold up. There's 2 anomalies that just occurred. I'm having overwhelming trouble on a public facing website of an extremely popular airline that me as a software engineer, I'm having a hard time figuring out what they want. And then I see a reflection on my window that defies the laws of physics. And this happens like within like 5 minutes. I'm like, that's not normal. Yo, hold up. I think it's starting. And so like I say, commits to beginning or commits to safe environment protocol because I'm like a dork like that. And I was like, so hold up, let me go back. Let me go back. So I'm like, commits to safe environment protocol. And so like, this is kind of like stage 4. So let me go back. So stage 1 was like consumption. I just gobble the bag, or the bag it had a quarter of it in there. I just gobble it, and then I get disappointed because 45 minutes has passed already. I was expecting something like 20 minutes, and 45 minutes passed, and it's like, oh, nothing happened. Like, okay, I didn't pay for it. So that was stage 1. Stage 2 is what I just attempted to explain, was confusion. Like, why am I struggling to search for flights from Miami to Cleveland, and it's giving me these error messages, and I can't understand what these error messages, like, what do they want from me, right? And it took forever for me to figure out what they wanted. And then immediately, like, gazing off, like, analyzing the hell out of a reflection on my window that I was convinced should not be there. I was just convinced it shouldn't be there. It defied the laws of physics. You shouldn't be there. Why is it there? And so like that was stage 2. So stage 1 is consumption. Stage 2 is confusion. And then the third stage 3, was realization. And that's when I was like, 2 subsequent anomalies within a span of 5 minutes. Nah, that's not right. Something is wrong. And then I was like, holy it's beginning. And so that was stage 3, was realization that the shrooms were like kicking in. And so then stage 4 was begin safe environment protocol. I was like, yo, all right, it's obvious something is happening to me. I need to remove myself from anything dangerous inside my home. So, that's when I was like, grab key. I have key. Put key in my right hand pocket. Key is in my right hand pocket. All right. Make sure I don't have any electronics on me that could compromise the rest of my life due to me catching a case. No electronics on me, no cell phone. All right. Commence to opening the door to outside of my apartment, right? Make sure that my key is still in the right hand pocket before I close the door. Like, I'm going through all this. Key is in right hand pocket. Closing door. All right. And so then I was like, I'm leaving my condo, and I'm like, all right, it's kicking in. I don't have any weapons on me. I don't have anything sharp on me. I have my key on me. I don't have my cell phone on me. They can't track me. All right. If I do something stupid, they can't track me. And so then I was like, I need to be safe. Damn, I got to cross the street. All right. Triple check. Because, I watch movies, and like, especially like horror movies. And like, when they are hallucinating, like, I don't know, they get tricked into believing certain things. So I'm like, I automatically knew that I had to like triple check traffic, ongoing and offgoing. I don't know if there's offgoing, but traffic in both coming, ongoing and offgoing in both ways. I still don't know if offgoing is the right term or not, but it's a one-way street. But I'm like, yo, it's important that I look both ways, and I need to do this 3 times. There's no traffic. All right, let me move one step further. All right, no traffic. One more time. I don't want to get hit by a bus or a car that doesn't exist. No traffic, right, on a one-way street. And so, like, everything with me is, like, calculated across the street. And so then I'm like, all right, check. I made it across the street. I didn't get run over by a car that didn't exist or a bus. So then, like, I get to the beach, and where am I at? I get to the beach, and I arrived. I'm like, all right, cool. I made it to the beach. Yes, there's no people around. Good. I don't have to worry about doing anything stupid, blacking out and imagining things that aren't even happening, right? There's no people around. All right, cool. So I was like, this is all stage 4, right, of begin safe environment protocol. Find a comfortable resting area. So I'm like, all right, cool. I'm kind of scared because I'm at the beach and I almost drowned before. Is it really safe for me to be at the beach? Because there's like ocean right there. And I might, like, for whatever reason, find the ocean really interesting and, like, decide to go for a swim. And I'll end up, like, drowning. Like, but that was a risk that I was willing to take. Because, I mean, what else can I really do? Where else can I really go? If I go to a park is going to, especially the park that's, like, right near me, it's going to have, like, people walking and jogging and running. And I'm trying to stay away from people. Okay. I'm scared of people right now, or I'm scared of what I may do to people. Right. So I don't want people around me. All right. So then, like, as I said, I'm at the beach and I find a comfortable, like, area that I feel secure about. And I'm like, all right, I'm just going to post up here. I'm like, well, how should I post up? Should I sit down? Which direction should I face when I sit down? Because, like, I want to meditate. I want to learn what it feels like to meditate. And I'm like, oh. And so I started getting overwhelmed with, like, how am I supposed to, like, sit? Should I face the ocean? Well, if I face the ocean, then I'm probably going to want to go inside the ocean, and they'll probably pick up my body, like, later that day or the next morning, with it being all bloated. And I was like, I don't know if I should face the ocean or not, because I might go in and I might end up killing myself by accident, by drowning or something, because I hallucinated that I have friends in the ocean. So, like, all this is going through my mind. I'm, like, analyzing the hell out of it. And I was like, all right, I'm not going to look at the ocean. And then so I was like, I'm going to face the other direction, all right, opposite of the ocean. But if I face opposite of the ocean, then I'm going to see, like, people coming in, or there's a possibility of seeing people coming into the entrance of the beach. And I don't want to see people at all. Like, I'm avoiding people. And I'm like, damn. So then I was like, I don't know what to do. Okay, how about I don't look at the ocean, but I don't look at the entrance of the beach. How about I just look not at the ocean or at the entrance, and I look at the median or the middle of both, right? The fine line. All right. So then the next thing I noticed was, like, it was cloudy. It was a cloudy day, but it was, I say day, I mean, it happened today. It happened, like, maybe 3 hours ago. But even though it was cloudy, it was, like, really bright. Like, it was bright. Like, it was uncomfortably bright for my eyes. And I'm like, yo, this is really uncomfortable. Like, it's too much sunlight. So then I was like, it's too much sunlight. So I curled up in the fetal position, and I took my forearm and I covered the side of my head to, like, restrict sunlight. And then from there, weird things started to happen. And so because I was avoiding sunlight, I just started observing like the sand literally beneath my face. And there's like red seaweed strewn about. I mean, it's not a lot of it, but you have you have little strands of red seaweed, like very minimal. That's like just distributed across the beach. And all of a sudden, like I started focusing on this one strand of red seaweed. And like I promise you, my eyesight was absolutely perfect, right? Now, I don't really have good eyesight. I avoid getting glasses, but my eyesight was like perfect. And I'm looking at this red strand. I'm looking at this red strand of seaweed, and it resembled a scorpion, a red scorpion, a very small red scorpion. And I'm like, and so this is where I'm probably just going to read off everything that was going on in my mind. So like I'm just going to read this out. So this is me documenting. This is like my journey, or this is like my what do you call it? What do you call them? I don't know what you call it when people write about their experiences every day. I know it begins with a D. Diary. Okay. So this is kind of like my diary, right? So I'm just going to read it. Just read it. So looking back at original strand of red seaweed, and I say, yeah, that's interesting. Because it looks like a scorpion, right? And then let me go up some. Observing sand beneath my face, and I say, this strand of red seaweed resembles a scorpion. Hey, this other strand of red seaweed also scorpion. Looking back at original strand of red seaweed. Yeah, that's interesting. Looking back at its neighbor. Okay, you no longer look like a scorpion anymore. Looking back at original strand of red seaweed. Oh, you're still there. Right? And then I'm like, I'm looking at like just seaweed, like very small pieces of seaweed, and I'm just staring at it, and like one looks like a scorpion. And I know it's seaweed. I'm just like, yo, you resemble a scorpion. And then I look at like a little strand of seaweed not far from it. I'm like, yeah, you look like a scorpion too. That's interesting. And then like I look back at the other one, and I look at the other one, and then it no longer resembles a scorpion. This looks like seaweed. And I look back at the other strand of seaweed, and I'm like, oh, okay, you're still looking like a scorpion. And so then I look up, right? Meaning I look away from the sand that I'm like, because it's like too bright, and I'm just staring down like this, and I kind of like look up to see what's going on, and I see like 5 to 10 pigeons. It was actually more than 5. I see like 10 pigeons, approximately directly in front of me, and they're like they're like 10 yards away. And the first thing I thought was like, why are y'all so close to me? Why are these pigeons so close to me? And then like I immediately just started going just in depth, like, yeah, y'all thought I was dead, huh? That's why y'all in front of me right now. I'm not dead. I'm here. Oh, y'all waiting for me to die, right? And I'm busy, like, I'm not talking to the pigeons, but I'm kind of like thinking out loud with these pigeons like in front of me. And And I'm talking at them, but I'm conscious that I'm talking at them. And I realized that the pigeons aren't making eye contact with me. Like, I'm like, well, why are y'all so close to me? Y'all not making eye contact with me. What do y'all? I'm not dead. I'm not going to die anytime soon. Like, why are y'all here, right? So then I decided that it was in my best interest to avoid confrontation with the pigeons. And so then I started gazing like north of where I'm at, and like I could see like Sunny Isles, and I could see Fort Lauderdale. And when I'm looking like north of me, I see like perfect vision of the grains of sand. So like it's weird. It's things that are ubiquitous and irrelevant. All of a sudden, I'm focusing on, and it is extremely clear. It's like having, it's like your eyeballs are a microscopic lens on things that are irrelevant. And I just remember like gazing off to the north and looking at, the two towns or cities north of me, and seeing like a perfect trail of ubiquitous grains of sand and like crazy clarity. And I'm like, yeah, damn. And I just remember like, because my eyesight is not perfect, but I just, I was just, for lack of a better term, like just, I can't even find the right vocabulary words. Wowed, for lack of a better term, of like how clear my sight was. And so after that, I gaze off again. And when I gaze off from looking at the two towns and the perfect granular detail of the grains of sand with the towns in the horizon, and I mean, I'm looking at this from like, I swear, like 10 yards, 15 yards, and I could see detailed specks of sand with the towns in the horizon. And I was just in awe about how clear my vision was. And I was like, it was just amazing to me. And so then like I gazed off again from that, and I've always had floaters in my eye, like ever since childhood. And I used, as a child, I would play with my floaters. Like I would just rock my head back and forth like Stevie Wonder, and would just watch my floaters traverse across my eyeballs. Right. And so when I was gazing off from like the sand and Fort Lauderdale and Sunny Isles, I saw my floaters in great detail, right? So essentially, imagine when you watch documentaries and they show like bacteria, or they show amoebas, or they show sperm, and they're just like wiggling around like retards. Like I, I literally saw my floaters in that much detail, like without a microscopic lens. Like I was able to zero in on individual floaters. Like I literally could look at individual ones and then focus on a specific one. Um, and so then it's like I started focusing on this one floater, and I was like, "Oh, that's interesting." And this floater is like, it was like it was on stage or something. I felt like this floater was like performing for me, and I was like, it's dancing for me. And I kept on looking at it. And the more I looked at it, the more I felt as if that floater in my eye uh, was competing for my attention. And so, like, I'm busy, like, observing this floater, and I'm talking at this floater in my eye, like, yeah, you look like a multi-legged sperm that's performing for me right now. Like, it's weird because you look like a sperm that I see in like documentaries, right? About the process of creation or whatever, birth. Like, you look like a sperm, but you have a whole bunch of legs on you. Yo, like, that's damn it. I have like mutated sperms in my eye, like, and I'm just in the zone, just focused on it. And then I was like, your friends are ignoring you though. All the other floaters, like, they're not with you right now, but you're trying to like get me to focus on you. You must be lonely. You're lonely, aren't you? And like this floater is like just moving around, performing. It's like it has this little tentacles or whatever, and this is bouncing up and down. And I'm busy like having a conversation with a floater in my eyeball. um, and so then I start gazing off again, and I just start thinking to myself, like, in admiration, like, yeah, them dudes at NASA, they're pretty smart. Like, they now understand. Like, them dudes at NASA, they realize that too much light distracts from from details, and that what did I say? I said too much light distracts and blocks imagery that our brains are trained to render as irrelevant. I still don't know how to process that, but that's what I thought. That's what I said, and I was like, James Webb, they got it right. Them some smart dudes, James Webb Telescope. And then I was like, yo, I bet NASA only understood this because they took some shrooms too. And, and so I'm just going, like, having a mental conversation with myself about how smart NASA is with James Webb Telescope, and how, yeah, they're dead on because you have to block light in order to see detail. And I was like, oh, the laws of physics, you know? Uh, and so I just started, like, just having this psychological, like, coming to Jesus talk about NASA with myself. And then I shift my attention from geeking out on the James Webb Telescope and how NASA engineers rely more on shrooms than they do the laws of physics, because there's no other way that they can understand how to identify stars or how to identify exoplanets. You know, right? They must have ingested shrooms like I did, and that was their epiphany, right? And it's a shame that they don't disseminate this information to the public so that they can understand how they were able to identify exoplanets by by constraining or for lack of a better term, restricting light. And so I just started just going deep on this. And then after I shifted my attention from NASA and the engineering of observing exoplanets, I started thinking about, like, how much I really appreciated being alone, and that I really didn't want to talk to anybody at all right now at that moment. And, like, I was imagining, what it would be like if someone were to, like, approach me on the beach to strike up conversation. And I kind of went through, like, this, I don't know if you want to call it monologue or whatever, but I just started, like, dwelling on how much I don't care about talking to people right now. So like just reading off the bullet points of my thoughts, I really don't want to be bothered by people right now. I'm usually empathetic to people that go out of their way to talk to me. I'm usually honored by them saying hi to me because I'm a stranger to them. But right now, I don't care about their feelings. Hey, I really appreciate you saying hello to me, but I don't want to talk to you. I don't even care that I don't care about your feelings. Like tomorrow we can talk and I will enjoy the interaction, but right now I don't care about what you have to say. I don't care if you think I'm rude. It's weird because I usually care a lot about what people that aren't scam artists and still want to talk to me. I care about what they think, but I don't care about your feelings, right? And like I just started going down this thought of how much I don't care about people's feelings and if they wanted to talk to me or not. And I didn't care if I was being rude to them. Like I didn't care, right? And so like all this is like just going through my mind of how much I appreciate not talking to people at that moment. And then came the next stage where stage 6, reality creeps, where I say my eyes aren't as sensitive to the daylight on a cloudy day anymore, which means that perhaps I'm gradually coming off of this trip or whatever. And I also noticed that my vision wasn't as laser, or my eyesight wasn't as clear with amazing like clarity of granular things like it was. I know that's like, I don't know. That didn't make sense what I just said, but basically my vision went from absolutely perfect to gradually becoming normal again. And then so as I'm like gradually like coming off of it, I still see a floater, the premier floater in my eyeball, and like it's still competing for attention. I know this sounds stupid, right? Well, my floater is still competing for my attention. And I'm like, sorry, floater, you're not important to me anymore. Remember, like, I don't want to be bothered with people. And like, I know you're not a person, but like, I don't care about your feelings. Like, and then like, I'm like, why am I apologizing to a floater in my eyeball? And then, I say, yeah, I'm still tripping. And so then, this is still like stage 6 of what I call reality creep. And I get up off the sand, I begin walking home, and like this white guy crosses my path and says good morning to me. And like, I'm not from Miami. Miami is a very cold-hearted place. It's a very cold-hearted city. I'm from the Midwest, so like I'm a nice person. And so like, I was, regardless of me really not wanting to interact with people at all, uh, based on this trip that I was in, uh, I was so honored that he addressed me, and I literally forced myself to reciprocate friendliness to him. And it wasn't like I was angry at people. It was just I didn't want to talk to anybody at all, and and I was conscious of that, and I knew that wasn't right, especially if someone is trying to be friendly to me. So like I literally forced myself to like greet him back and force myself to like, I don't know, I said something to him to try to incite some form of like conversation as I was still walking away from him because I didn't want to talk to him. And then like I knew that once I got home, I needed to document this whole experience while it was still fresh in my head by having bullet points of everything I was going through, everything I was thinking. And something that I noticed, like, it was very apparent, that was when I was putting together like this outline or this document of the various stages that I went through. I couldn't spell, like, basic words. I couldn't spell, and so there's probably hella typos in here in this document. And it's like, that's one thing I noticed that was like a obvious side effect of being on like that psychedelic or shrooms, is I struggle to spell common words. Like, I struggle to spell the word ethnicity. I couldn't spell it. I couldn't spell ethnicity, right? And there's a couple other words that I couldn't spell. I couldn't spell the word strand. I couldn't spell it. I would keep typing it in this document. I couldn't spell the word. And so that's just one thing that I just very conscious of. It's like, I couldn't spell as I was trying to like document my experience. And so that's pretty much it. I think I've been clear-headed probably for like, or I came off of it maybe like three hours ago. What do I feel after I've done it? Do I feel guilty? No. I think society and the Fed, I feel as if I'm expected to feel shame for having the audacity to want to experience with what some people can do almost naturally, and for what ancient civilizations have been doing. And I don't feel bad about that. I feel like it was something that I needed to experience without being in the process of dying. And would I do it again? I think I would. Do I have this burning sensation to live in that world or that dimension and unsubscribe from reality? Translated, could I see myself being a drug addict and having an addiction? No. Don't get me wrong. Like, reality for me sucks. Like, society sucks. People suck, right? I have this ideal, for lack of a better term, my vocabulary is really leaving me. We have this ideal, like, maybe I could say, perception of how things ought to be, right? I have this imaginary standard of how people should behave, and it's not reality. But what's weird, or what's interesting, is when I was under the influence of these shrooms, I didn't care about people at all. Like, I just didn't care about them, and I just didn't care. Like, normally, really, to be honest with myself, I care about what people think of me, and I think that's a curse. But when I was under the influence, it's kind of like being drunk. Well, that's not fair to say. Like, when I'm drunk, I don't care what people think. But the difference is like, when I'm drunk, I still enjoy interactions with people, right? Even with strangers, right? When I'm drunk off of alcohol. The difference with like shrooms or what I ingested is not only did I not care about people at all, um, I, I I really didn't want to interact with people at all. Like when I'm drunk, I feel like I want to interact. Right? It's fun. Life is more interesting. My experience is more interesting when I interact with others, both strangers and people close to me. But when I was on shrooms, like I didn't want to interact at all. I just wanted. I really enjoyed being by myself, and I think that was like just really interesting. It's something that I've never really experienced before. Is being under the influence of something that makes you antisocial, and you thoroughly enjoy observing nature. Like you're enamored by it. You don't. It's like you literally like. I don't want to deal with society. Like F your feelings. I don't care if I'm being rude to you. I don't want to talk to you. Like that's pretty much the difference of what I experienced. And so that's it. That's my documentation for, I don't know, medical reasons, scientific reasons, from an engineering perspective. I documented my motivation. I documented the precautions that I took. And I documented I think I said 6 stages. And I'll just publish this document on my blog, bismonger.wordpress.com. And that's it. So I don't expect this to be popular. I do expect. Well, I know for a fact that I'm not alone in the type of person I am, and in the type of personality that I have, and the fact that there's certain things about me that I just can't turn off and that I just can't appreciate. And doing shrooms altered that, and that's it. So I am out. I don't even know if anybody's viewing this or not, but I'm killing this. How do I just stop screen and in broadcast?